Hey everyone! Today we're going to dive into a pretty amazing story. It's about how one of the most digitally attacked places on Earth is flipping the script and turning itself into a global hub for cybersecurity. This is all about Taiwan's digital fortress and the incredible alliances that are making it happen. So here's the big question, right? How does a place that's under constant, relentless digital attack become a world leader in fighting back? That's what we're going to unpack. And the answer? Well, it's a fascinating look at how to turn immense pressure into a serious advantage. There are lessons here for pretty much anyone.
All right, here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll head to the digital front line to really get a sense of the threat. Then, we'll see how this incredible alliance came together. After that, we'll look at the win-win blueprint, what each side gets out of it. Then, we'll peek into the future with the AI revolution. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the grand vision of this digital fortress.
Okay, so first things first, we've got to understand the battlefield. To get why the solution is so impressive, you have to grasp the incredible scale of the problem they're facing every single day. To really put this into perspective, we're talking about a mind-boggling number of attacks. Some figures suggest Taiwan's public sector alone gets hit with over 20 million cyber attacks every single month. It's basically a nonstop digital siege. But what's happened almost by accident is that this has created the world's most intense cybersecurity lab, where you don't innovate for fun, you innovate to survive.
And these attacks aren't just random. No way. They are laser-focused. They're going after the nerve centers of the entire society. The government, essential infrastructure like power grids and transportation, and of course, those world-famous tech companies that are so critical to the global supply chain. If an attack succeeds here, it's not just a problem for Taiwan. The shockwaves are felt all over the world.
So you might think all this pressure would make a place want to isolate itself. But actually, the opposite happened. This intense environment became a magnet. Let's dig into why some of the world's biggest security firms are now lining up to partner with Taiwan. It really boils down to four key things that just clicked into place. First, the constant threats make it the best real-world training ground you could ever ask for. Second, Taiwan's role in the tech world is just too important to ignore. Securing it is a global priority. Third, they've got an amazing pool of tech talent. And finally, it's the perfect springboard into the massive Asia-Pacific market. It's just this perfect storm of need, talent, and opportunity. And this is where it gets really smart. Let's talk about the win-win blueprint. This isn't a charity case. It's not one side just helping out the other. This is a genuinely symbiotic relationship where everybody comes out ahead. I mean, just look at this. It's a perfect two-way street. Taiwan gets access to world-class threat intelligence and top-tier training, which makes the whole nation more secure. And what do the global firms get in return? Oh, just priceless, real-time data on the newest threats, access to incredible local talent, and key strategic partnerships that give them a major foothold in the region. It's a classic case of the whole being greater than the sum of its parts. Okay, but this whole alliance isn't just about playing defense against today's problems. It's about looking around the corner and getting ready for what's next. And the next massive frontier for both opportunities and threats is absolutely artificial intelligence. And when it comes to AI, Taiwan is sitting in a really powerful position. They have the entire tech supply chain from start to finish, all anchored by that legendary semiconductor industry. They're also known for being able to get things done and implement new tech super fast. And the cherry on top, the government is throwing its full weight behind this push. It's a killer combination. And this isn't just talk. The government has a real, tangible five-part plan. They're systematically making sure the ecosystem has everything it needs. The raw computing power, access to data, a pipeline of skilled people, a global marketing push to show off what they can do, and of course, the funding to make it all happen. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. You need people. A lot of people. The goal is to train up 200,000 AI professionals. That is a massive undertaking, and it really shines a spotlight on why these partnerships between companies, the government, and universities are so absolutely critical to building that workforce for the future. So this big national plan is also shaping how individual companies think. This six-point checklist is basically the playbook for CEOs. It shows you it's not just about buying new software. It's about rethinking everything from your core strategy and company structure all the way down to fostering a culture where new ideas can thrive. They're not just trying to keep up with the AI revolution, they're trying to lead it. So what does it actually look like to defend an AI? Well, it's not your old school antivirus, that's for sure. We're talking about a whole new toolkit of next-gen defenses. Things like a zero-trust architecture, which basically means you trust nothing by default, and you have to protect the AI models themselves from wild new threats like prompt injection, where an attacker can actually trick the AI into doing something it shouldn't. This is the absolute cutting edge. Okay, so when you put all these pieces together, the alliances, the focus on talent, the push into AI, you start to see that they're not just putting out fires, they're building something much, much bigger. Let's look at the grand vision here. Now, let's be real for a second. Building a digital fortress of this scale is not a walk in the park. It takes a huge amount of money. It means navigating some really tricky geopolitical waters. And maybe most importantly, success depends on executing perfectly, day after day after day. The challenges are real, but the payoff for getting it right is even bigger. So it all comes down to this powerful three-part vision. Number 1, strengthen their own defenses to be more resilient right now. Number 2, cultivate so much talent that they have a self-sustaining ecosystem of experts for years to come. And number 3, use all that strength to become the absolute benchmark for digital security and innovation for the entire Asia-Pacific region. And that kind of leaves us with one last big, thought-provoking question. We've seen how this pressure cooker of constant threats has created a totally unique model for collaboration and innovation. So could this digital fortress being built in Taiwan actually become the blueprint for how every country secures its digital future? It's a question that might just define global security for the next decade. Thanks for joining me.